Aloha and welcome to Java. Thank you all kindly for joining me. This is for Tuesday. It's July 9th, 2024. We've got a few things I'd like to go over, but relatively light day. But let's start with the markets and our relative risk indice. So we've got the MMRI hovering right around the 280 level, did pull back a bit. Stocks went green yesterday, another record all-time high. So with this, we've got the fear and greed index. It's heading more into the greed area. And as we were speaking about yesterday, record numbers of retail investors coming into the market. So at this point in time is where you are seeing the proverbial shoe shine boy, if you would, heading into the markets, putting all of their money that they can into the stock market. That is a flash signal. That being said, I do think markets can go higher from here, and we're still looking at inflation. Looking at the relative strength of the dollar and the 10-year yield, both of those pulled back yesterday, and that left room for the stocks to run. Everything went green, record all-time highs. Cryptocurrencies are recovering from in my opinion, it was managed a suppression of the price. However, today we've got the stocks and the futures are both in agreement that there's a bit more green to go, at least on market open. Now, a little bit later, that could change, particularly Fed Chair Jerome Powell is going to be testifying at 10 a.m. So that's when we could see some movements depending on how the market perceives what it thinks it hears from Powell. So with this, the sentiment right now is Powell testimony at 10 o'clock. Could lead up to that. After that, nobody knows. So testimony at 10 o'clock. Otherwise, nachos. Nachos market. It's not my market, it's nachos either. So we've got Central Bank of China taking more control over rates. They are pulling a playbook from the United States. Basically, Federal Reserve taught them this trick. They are adding temporary repos in order to kind of bolster their liquidity, if you will, without doing any actual moves within the market with their rates or anything else that might spook the spending. Looking at our calendar, we've got Fed Chair Powell testifying. Really, that's it for today. We've also got Yellen speaking today. Now, I wanted to bring her up because something much more interesting has come to my attention, and it is the Interagency National Security Committee. This is led by the U.S. Department of the Treasury, proposing a rule expanding the committee's authority to review real estate transactions located near dozens of military installations across 30 United States. So my question is this: do we really want the Department of the Treasury having the power and expanding authority to review real estate transactions and control who can purchase land? So if you go back in history, the ability to own land, quote unquote, is relatively recent. And if they take that away from you, it's heading back into serfdom. So just want to mention that. And that is why I have her first and forefront. I think this should be watched, and it's really not getting a lot of the coverage that I think that it deserves. So in the name, again, of security and safety, they will keep you safe in a prison. They are overlooking real estate transactions now. So with our economy and what's going on, we've got Warren Buffett-backed BIT. So this Chinese EV maker, electric vehicle, quite nice vehicles actually, but they're building a $1 billion plant in Turkey with annual production capacity of about 150,000 vehicles. This is significant because this is Chinese company and beginning building in Turkey now. The labor rates there are sufficient, and they're also making deals with Middle Eastern countries. So they're putting the plant closer to where they believe distribution is going to be. There is also the sanctions from the US coming onto Chinese electric vehicles, and this could be a possible way to skirt these. Couple of other things. We have 4 real data points. Companies going bankrupt the fastest pace since the pandemic. So, a lot of companies going out of business. When they go out of business, they fire everyone that is working there. This is going to be a data point that Fed Chair Powell is saying they're looking at before they cut rates. So, as I was saying the other day, I think we need to hit double digit unemployment prior to them cutting rates. So, we'll see what he says. The interesting part of what he's done in this miraculous soft landing, so to speak, is not just with the rates, but managing the markets and managing the economy simply with their words, what they're speaking, and how they kind of guide it psychologically. The whole market right now is psychologically coming down softly, but there is also a price to pay for that. So, something else I wanted to bring up is the insurance warning, as there are fears of collapse in the insurance industry here. Now, this is coming up at a critical time. We've got Hurricane Beryl just made landfall last night in the United States, and we are right at the forefront of hurricane season, which typically affects Florida uh, disproportionately to other states. Secondly, Louisiana and Texas. So insurance companies in these areas beginning to pull out and shut down. And if you can't get insurance on a property, you cannot purchase with a loan, meaning this will affect the housing industry in general and act, I think, as a wave as it comes up with this crunch down. Now, real estate is local, and I think it will follow through because of the loans with the insurance will expand. So, hitting Florida, Texas first, as well as California because of the wildfires. So, they're also pulling out of California because there's raging wildfires going on there at the moment as well. So, a couple of other things. On the war front, the Pentagon postponing Army exercises mid diplomatic tensions with Georgia. Now, this is Georgia over in Europe. Basically, they're having issues with acquisitions going back and forth. But really, what's going on is Georgia is still has ties with Russia. So over the entire war front there, where nuclear weapons are being housed, where troops are able to be, and when they set up no-fly zones for the wars, they will do this typically. And very strategic positioning is being set up at this very moment. So we also have new warplanes, basically fighter jets, going to Japan. And there's quite a few that they're sending over. I believe 35. They're setting up in bases in Japan and bolstering the defenses there. Now, obviously, that is because they see direct threat from North Korea as well as also China. So trying to push that down. So with that, I wish you all a great trading day in general. Also a reminder, please become self-sufficient, and rather than looking for safety, don't be compliant. Stay free.